Well, the next question, um, Addison revealed she would have left her husband due to his cheating ways if it was not for their family's name and public image to uphold. Do you think some people stay together to avoid public embarrassment? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've always been, I didn't care, but I know, for me personally, when it came time for me to walk away from my situation, people in the church, people in my family, um, was telling me to try and, put up with it, work it out, figure out, what's his issue or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, we're past
We know
that.
what his issue is. He's a cheater. He's a liar.
Right. Like we are way past that. We're past, you know, the I don't know. We're past getting back together. We
Right.
tried
Way
the marriage
past.
counseling. I've heard every apology there was to hear, and it's like, nah. But they were more concerned, especially since, almost all of my cousins have stayed married. Um, you know, oh, here she go again, it's her again, and blah blah blah. And I've always been, the crazy one or whatever. And also, not to really put our business out in the street, but I think both, Corinna's parents and my parents. I don't know. It could have been love, but I mean, you talk about toxic. People
Toxic.
stay, and I think they just did not want that, especially since they were
Mm-hmm.
heavy in the church.
Oh,
They did
definitely.
not that divorce and all, being a single mother, or
Mm-hmm.
being the weekend daddy and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. I think a lot of that, yeah, them staying together, it wasn't just love and we're going to endure, we're going to work this out, and we're going to be, no, it was also, what other people thought of them.
Yeah, that's so
So,
true.
people do stay together to avoid public embarrassment.
They do.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They stay together for those reasons. Also for, their family name, their titles, and their belief systems, like, Alicia touched on. And I think that's such a huge one. Everybody having an input on, well, what is it going to look like? And it's like, but what about how I feel? What
Mm-hmm.
about me being mistreated and disrespected and,
What about
treated
that?
like a
Mm-hmm.
dog? What about that? Oh no. I remember I had one lady in the church come and tell me, well, how is that going to look on your boys if you divorce your husband and then another man raises them and your boys are going to have a different last name than your new husband?
Girl, they big
How
on
is
that
that
last name
going to
stuff.
look to on your children? And I'm like, but it doesn't matter that their dad is abusing me and disrespecting me in front of them. That's not going to be more influential on them than me being married to an upstanding man that's going to teach them how to become an upstanding man. That,
Mm-hmm.
it's like they pay attention to the wrong things about
The wrong
the
things.
image of everything, but not what's really going on behind closed doors. They don't care about that. That's not our business.
Mm-mm.
You just come, put on a mask, and make it look good.
Put on the
Make it
mask
look cute before the Lord, before the church.
before the church.
you know,
Suffer in silence.
yeah, and outside of avoiding public embarrassment, people stay together for financial reasons. People stay
Yep.
together for sex.
Mm-hmm.
People stay together for so many different things. Um, that they really shouldn't.
That's right.
They're so people are afraid to be alone, or they're afraid to start over. So they rather stay somewhere until that well completely dries up, and they're forced to be apart. You know,
Yeah.
so it's really sad. Especially seeing Addison going through this level of devastation because she feels like, she'll probably be thrown out of this community if she divorces her husband. And then where would she go? And then she'll be on the
Right.
street and, all that stuff. So, a part of me understands, but the other part is just like, it pisses me off about Addison. It's like, you take your pain and instead of fixing your issues, and finding a better way, you choose to take that and hurt somebody else because you're not
Mm-hmm.
happy, you know, and that's what makes her a evil, devious person, you know. So
Right. No, I completely agree with everything both of you said, and I do feel that Addison is a reflection of a person who won't leave a bad situation because what will society think? I have put myself out there. I mean, everywhere she goes, she talks about her husband. You know, whatever new bonuses he has, whatever, you know, if he's rising in the ranks of his company, whatever he's doing, you know, she's a cheerleader, honey. She's repping like she's a mascot. Forget a cheerleader. She out there doing backflips in that big outfit. You know what I'm saying? Looking like a whole bear. Running up on people talking about, so he's doing this. Nobody asked though, but nobody asked what Vince was doing. Nobody cares, right? She gonna maul you like a grizzly bear. So she takes a lot of pride in what she thinks that people see her as. Like the fact that women want to be her, the fact that people admire her, like, oh, Vince is such a good catch, and the kids are doing so good. And you know, they go to that really good private school. Oh, he just bought her a new Bentley. It's just she's really living the life. You know, the fact that it's like I can endure the cheating. I can endure the affectionless marriage because at least people think I got it like that. You see what I'm saying? Because when she was on the phone talking to Vince, it felt very much like they were forced into whatever the hell this is. I almost say what the F it was, to be honest, because I felt that. Like I really felt that. They are a good example of what looks like when people put people together in families. These are two people who folks matched together, and now we see him, and he's just like he's lashing out. He don't want her. He don't want this. And it's not that Addison's not a beautiful woman. She's beautiful, but he didn't choose her. Like he's like, I mean, I'm with you because we got some royal mess put together. People putting families together and matching stuff up. But deep down inside, like they don't really get along. You know, she said things about wanting to get pregnant again and having another baby because that's the only time he seemed to care about her. I had a man tell me, I I treat my wife the best when she's pregnant. And I said, why? He said, because she's having my baby. And if that child comes out with some, physical abnormalities or something, that's on me because I didn't pamper her. So he talked about, when she was pregnant, how he would give her baths, he'd rub her feet, rub her belly, he cooked for her. And this woman got pregnant more than 5 times, I think, to keep the treatment going. And he would say that after the baby was born, he had done he did what he's supposed to do. He helped care for her to have a healthy pregnancy and deliver a healthy baby. But there was no waking up in the middle of the night. There was no changing diapers. There was no feeding the baby. She was on her own then. And I'm like, why? He was like, because I did my job. The baby didn't come out with any physical abnormalities. I mean, what would that look like if I birth a child that has, some type of a mental health disorder, or not even mental health, but more like developmental delay? What would that look like if my child was born with a deformity because I stressed the mom out? So once the child gets here, we don't care about that portion of it. Um, but yeah, you guys touched on a lot of things like Kyrie was saying about people saying, well, if you leave him and then another man's going to raise these boys, then they're going to have a different last name. My mother, again, I love her, but baby, she'd be on there. No, because she was filling out her forms today. And baby, every one of those kids, yeah, you saw that too? They all got last names. Different last names. I mean, what was she thinking? I mean, you know what? She should have listened to her mama Pearl. Pearl told her what to do. But that's what my mom would do. They would literally go in on women doing paperwork and all the kids having different last names. Or, these two have this last name and this one, and these two have this last name, and then the mom has another last name. So clearly she's with somebody else. Like, why is that your business?
I have witnessed that. And they'll talk about it with staff, not just,
Yeah.
Kitty and friend. They'll be like, yeah, we did all that paper. And it's a whole situation. You remember that, Corenna?
Yeah, it was a whole situation.
And I'm like, these folks is just minding their business, being happy, whatever. Ain't nobody asking for nothing. They just come in, if anything, putting money in your pockets, and here you are running your mouth about the kids having different last names. And they said,
and how ghetto that looks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's ghetto is you running your mouth about things that don't concern you. Shut up.
At all. And then it'll turn around and be right in their face. Oh, you just got some beautiful babies. After cutting them up, yeah.
Tell them what you said earlier. What do you want to say, Kyrie?
I was just saying, like, I've even, had people talk about me, and I just decided, I'd rather live with the embarrassment than live in hell for the rest of my life, dealing with somebody that's going to be disrespectful to me,
Talk
somebody
about
that
it.
somebody that's going to be a bad example. I'm trying to raise young men, to be respectful to women, respecting their mother, and going out and being decent men in society. And I can't have a man in my life
Say
that is
that.
telling them how to just be like him, and
Mm-hmm.
grow up and be the same way, So I had to decide I'd rather walk away from this. You guys can talk
Talk
about
about it.
me. I'll handle the embarrassment and deal with all that because I'm providing my children a better life and a better future. And, that's fine. So, I just stopped talking to folks, people that didn't
Mm-hmm.
understand. People want to make me feel bad for my decision and not understand how I felt and how I was depressed and sad, just all that stuff.
Right.
You're not the people for me, So anybody out there that's dealing with a situation like this, and you feel like you're being pressured into staying somewhere where you're not happy, you're being mistreated, you're being abused, there is a brighter side, And even if you have to get out, you might face a period of time where you might feel like you're going to be alone, But find those people because there are people out there that will stand with you.
Mm-hmm.
They will encourage you. They will help you go through that dark time as you transition and find something better, or even just find yourself. There's so I have found so much joy in being alone. I enjoy my own company.
Right. That's
So much.
important.
I never thought I would be in another relationship again. I was so done. And I was uh, offered this opportunity to have another relationship with a wonderful man that's treated me better than any other man has treated me in my life, outside of my brothers, of course. But but I was just like, no, I'd rather be alone. And I learned how to enjoy my own company. I figured out who I was, what I liked, what I didn't like, all that stuff. So, you take that time out and discover who you are, discover your worth, you know,
Mm-hmm.
teach people how to treat you by how you
Honey,
end up and treat yourself, So
baby.
I just wanted to share that.
No, I mean, I think it's so important. And like, I hate to go down a rabbit hole, but some of these topics just be so good. I saw this woman posted, they posted a picture of this woman. She's Dominican, very beautiful. And I guess she's in her 40s and she had a daughter who's like 20. And here comes the negative, angry men in the comments. I bet she's single. Yeah, she got all that body. She dressing all young and stuff. I bet she can't keep a man. I bet a man can't keep her. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop with the foolishness. And we don't even know the woman was in a relationship or not. We just saw a beautiful woman who was over the age of 40, had a couple kids, but baby body was snatched. Okay. And there were these ignorant men in the comments talking about, son, I bet she can't keep a man though. Like, all these women out here dressing and looking good and they single because single is the new flex, baby. Like, you didn't know? Oh, you didn't know? People aren't single because nobody wants to date them. People are single because they haven't found anybody who they've been looking for. They're just not out here settling for trash and then being somewhere crying in bed at nighttime because he hurts me so bad. Kyria, you talked about the embarrassment. You're like, I'll endure the embarrassment, but it's like, what are we talking about here? Because if you stay, she done gained all that weight and she over there. Oh, that man make her crazy. You see the way he treat her and them kids? Or, y'all, something's going on over there. She's depressed. She's not eating. She's a stick. She needs to get out that situation. So I'm here to testify to you, saints. Here to tell y'all here in these streets, do what you want to do. Because if you stay, they're going to talk and they're going to laugh at you. Oh, honey, you see how pretty she is? And she can had all them babies for him and he over there fat and looking crazy and he don't even deserve her. So they're going to talk about you being foolish for staying with a man who doesn't deserve you. Then they're going to call you foolish and talk about you because you got up and left. See how that works? You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So I say to hell with those people who have so much opinion on what other people are doing. You don't pay not one bill. You don't contribute to anything to try to help people's lives become better. But you got so much to say. Shut up. Nobody asked you for your raggedy and doll opinion. Okay? Go back to hell from where that mess came from. It's not necessary. It's not attractive. Too many people are staying in situations because they feel like society's going to judge me. I'll just be another single mom, but she'll be single and happy. And if the right person presents themselves to her, then great. I mean, and when we say the right person, we're not talking about some, because he got to be a baller. I mean, we do like boss men who have money. I mean, who doesn't, right? But that's not what we're talking about. I remember, because Curie has been in the entertainment industry, you know what I'm saying? Like, so she knows a lot. So she met a lot of people when she worked for, what was it, a label that you were at? Or was it like, what was it? I don't remember. I don't want to call it out wrong. You don't have to say the name of it. But she was in the industry. And she met a lot of people. You know, she would work on contracts with people and do different things. And so it was a former NBA player. We ain't gonna mention the team, you know what I'm saying? But it was from the West Coast. Anyway, and he was trying to get at her. People would have looked at that situation, girl, you get him because he is retired NBA now and he's got businesses and he's doing boom, boom, boom. It wasn't right for her though. You see what I'm saying? She was like, he was a nice guy and everything. And they talked, handsome man. He was on top of his business game. But there were a couple of things that in her life didn't align with what he wanted to do. So she was like, I can't do that. You see what I'm saying? So stop acting like when a woman is single, it's because nobody wants her. She can't find a good prospect because she has kids. That's not what it was. Because he didn't care about them babies. Okay? He was ready to be stepdaddy. And he had the financial means to be a great dad. Okay? But people are staying in stuff way too long. It's time to go. What you want to say, baby?
I was just saying, and the only reason why we didn't go further is because I don't sleep with people. And then like the first 90 days or whatever.
Right.
I don't really have a timeline on it, but I gauge
Right.
it until I'm ready. Until it feels right.
Till you're
And,
ready.
that was his biggest thing. He's like, well, how long is it going to be? I'm just like, I don't know, but I don't put out like that. When the time is right, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, but you know, um, and I remember he had wrote me a really nice poem when he ended things with me, and he's like, "You're so sweet, and I don't want to disrespect you. I want to honor your values, and unfortunately, this isn't going to work out." And we had that conversation, but he was really nice and respectful about it. And I really appreciated that because you hear about men being hear and see men
Ghosted
being
people.
disrespectful, you stupid B, and you this and that, all because you have no
Yeah.
standard. And then when you don't have any standards, and if they didn't want to talk about you like a dog too, so
Right.
okay, like Karina said,
Yeah.
if you do, you damned if you don't. They
You
gonna talk
really
about
are.
you anyway, so do what you
Yeah.
want to.
People don't. Yeah. And yeah. You know what? It was a sex component, and for a lot of people, physical interaction is very big. And I'm big on the physical interaction myself. But what I'm saying, okay. But what I'm saying is it takes time to get to that place where we can build enough trust. Because, baby, if you're laying down with everybody in the first 3 weeks of knowing them, it's not going to work out very well for you. Take your time. You want to say something, Alicia? You look like you had something you want to say. She's like, God, no. Saying nothing. But yeah,
No,
people
no, not.
like, no, no. Mm-mm. So people stay in situations that they shouldn't stay in because public embarrassment, what people are going to think. Um, I'm not a guy, so I can't speak to how men feel about that. But I feel there's a lot of pressure on women. You better stay with your husband. You better figure it out. You better work it out. I've heard my mom counsel many young women and let them know, fix it, figure it out. I want to see you tarrying at the altar. What do your fast days look like? Why is this on me? Your husband can't stay out of jail.
What about that line? Oh, well, I know somebody that's been through worse, or I've been through worse.
Yeah,
You'll be all right. I've been told
you'll be
that
all
so
right.
many times. My mom went through worse, or my auntie went, and I'm like, so that means I have to deal with it.
I have to deal with it.
Why is that the standard? Crazy.
We are seeing a lot of. I see a lot of women online getting bashed for having standards. You know, I remember I sent y'all something and the lady asked for the bare minimum. She just was like, have all your stuff together and be a person who's looking for an adventure. I like to travel and maybe we could go places together. So have a passport. And all these crummy bums, baby, crummy bums, sitting up there talking about some You're gonna die alone. You ain't gonna have nobody. So you mean to tell me that a person doesn't have a passport, a job, a car, and a house, and you gonna tell me good luck finding that? So what you're telling me is that the bar, there is no bar. Like the bar is laying on. It's not even set up no more. Like it's not. It's not set up. It's laying on the floor. It's on the floor. There is no there. There's no set for it. Carrie dropped. The bar has dropped. It's just so for you to ask somebody just to be like, because she was a woman of a certain kind of, certain age, and like her children were grown out the door. She was wanting to travel and she had, and she has her own money. So it ain't like she's like, please, I need to go fund me, sponsor my next trip. Like she was on her own thugging stuff, right? And for people to be in the comment section, like for a woman your age, you really shouldn't be picky. But I'm talking about she was bad though. She was like real, real bad. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know she was 52. I was like, 52? Baby, I always thought she was about 29 to 30. She looked that good, And to say that you want to, spend your life and start, traveling more because she does remote work so she can travel and still work, just say I'm jealous. Just say you're out of my league and I can't have you and I'm mad about it. Say it's time for me to up my skill set. It's time for me to become a better human being. Just say that. We got a lot of people out here attacking people because they have certain standards, and we don't need to attack anybody. You just need to figure out what's going to work for you and what's not. Don't worry about it. But just be honest. Like you can't reach that high because she set the bar up here, which I didn't think was very high at all. Actually, she wasn't being cocky or rude about it. She got ate up in the comments. You ought to just take what you can get, and that was something that Addison had told Malia. You're fast approaching 30. At this point, if a janitor wants you, just go with it. Like, is something wrong with being a janitor? But do you see how people in that society of life look down on others? So, girl, this whole little piece right here, we could go on this one for hours.